Hey everybody, welcome back to Landlord Super, this free build update showcase build. So where we left off was, let me just get rid of these little piles of wasted concrete. So where we left off, we had been working on the foundations. So since the last episode, I think in-game, yeah, it's been like 2 days, I've set all this concrete down. Really didn't take that long. And obviously, as we know last time, we filled in the walls here and everything. So all that's left is going to be to handle the masonry up here, the brickwork, and also to handle it around the base of the house. So I could have changed out the color of the brick. I had that option, but I opted not to actually. And so I ordered this pallet of Carly clay. They were 21 pounds, so they were not the cheapest, but I wanted to get them in because I wanted it to match. So I think we should start near the rear of the house with some of the bricklaying. Now, if you notice, of course I've done bricklaying before, but the difference with this time is we have unlimited mortar. So I'm just gonna spend some time doing this, and I'll talk to you about some of the improvements they've made with the bricklaying. There hasn't been a lot mechanics-wise, actually, because if you notice, so you can still do that accidentally, and there's still the same old kind of quirkiness that it's always had. But to give the dev some credit, he added tons and tons of new brick styles, and it really does leave a lot to experiment with. And I'm not necessarily gonna experiment with all of that in this specific build. I can showcase it if you guys would like. I can. Which is kind of the whole point of the series is to show off some of those features. To me, I don't know if the new types of brick are the biggest feature. And not all of them are practical, of course. Some of them are, like there's like purple bricks and blue bricks. And I'm sure people will do some cool stuff with it. For me, that I don't find that so useful because most of the construction that I do is kind of try and make it realistic looking, and residential houses don't typically use like big blue bricks. But I'm all for creative, freedom in the game, and I think that, of course, having more options is always a good thing. So at the end of the day, I am glad that the dev put that in. Yeah. The music, the soundtrack, I think I turned the soundtrack off, actually, just for copyright purposes. But I think I can turn it back on if you guys would like it. I do find it hard, though, because between the game sound and the soundtrack, it can get difficult to hear what I'm saying. It can just sound like a jumble. But anyhow, trust me, you think that this is a lot of bricklaying, but I remember when I was doing my big house, which maybe I'll show you guys a picture of at some point if I can find a screenshot I took back when I was doing that. God, I was bricklaying for literally like 2 hours in real life, which is a lot. Let's see what we got. Building test. Okay, so yeah, no, we have done all that. I thought it was bugging out. It was telling us we had done the masonry, and I was going to say, I don't think so. I think we should need like 6 or so bricks for that gap there. Always hard to make sure the bricks don't break as you drop them. I like to just do this, just spread them out. That way you don't risk damaging them. Because the worst is when you just waste a brick unnecessarily. Speaking of wasting bricks, I haven't gotten a brick bolster yet. And I will say that is one of the more unnecessary tools, I think, in this game, is the gas-powered brick splitter. I really don't think... because I've used it before, and I actually think it's way harder to use than the original, just hand-powered one, because the hand-powered one's always on your belt, Like, you never have to go and find it and reach for it, but with the gas-powered one, like, kind of out of your way. Like, you have to go somewhere, somewhere on your house that you, or your lot that you weren't going to go already, and you got to go and do all that. I just prefer the old handheld one. So that's why I tend to use that one, even though it's, but as a bonus, it's way cheaper too. It doesn't use any of the material. So actually, I think now's a good time to show you guys the catalog. I just feel like it. So let's take a look at the brick. And so as you guys can see, there's all these colors of brick, which is wonderful. And there's also these new varieties of breeze blocks too, which I'll show you. All these colors, and even some that are like molding or glass or sandstone rock. It's all very cool. And I just wanted to show you guys that, because I wouldn't really be much of a showcase video if I didn't. Alright, but we're getting at least the old brickwork. I think this is going to be the last of the old brickwork that we have to repair. And then now, yeah, I thought I left a little bit of grout over here, or mortar. And now we can start working on laying the new brick. I gotta say, that black foundation is going to be rough to work with when we're doing like flooring and everything. It's going to be hard to see what we're doing, but that's alright. Be easier to see once we get some nice red brick. I always prefer these. I mean, I think the other bricks look great. The like the ones that are like darker a little bit and come in varying colors. I like those too, but at least for me, they don't scream luxury. They don't scream like high quality. Because I feel like if you think about it, the higher quality and more expensive too, I guess, housing, usually they would probably want it to look consistent, and I don't think they'd just be okay with it kind of being inconsistent like that. So it looks like, yeah, we are probably gonna need a bolster soon, but I'll try and lay as much as I can. I actually didn't think I would need more than a pallet, and I might. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not convinced yet that I'm gonna have to buy more, but that might change. Yeah, I think this is actually a really manageable size for the house. At least based on the other project. Like, you don't want to set... Like, look, I'm all for setting high goals. I think it's a great thing. But burnout, especially with a game like this where, yeah, laying the brick for a gigantic mansion might not take that long. But I promise you, when you get to roofing and not to mention, you know, like, God forbid, plasterboarding everything inside the house, you're gonna lose that steam that you had at the start. And that's what I was wary of with this, especially because it's important that I go all the way through the building process here, because the whole point is to show off what can be done, and it's kind of hard to do that if you never make it past, you know, foundations. So that's why I'm really dedicated to. I was dedicated to thinking up a house that I thought would be doable in the you know, realistic amount of time I'd have to make a YouTube video. So yeah, let's see. We might need to do, actually, that's actually going to work out pretty cleanly on this side. I don't know. We might have to use a half block or two. But we shouldn't have to use too many. We're going to need a lot. I think the music's on. Let me, yeah, it is. Forgot to save changes, I think. I don't know why, but when I wiped my save file this last time, I think I lost my settings too. Because when I loaded it up, it had the like VHS look. Not the normal one, but like the whole screen effects thing, which is cool, but I turned it off for you guys and for myself because it brings the resolution of the game. You know, it looks like it's from the 1980s, which would be cool, but wouldn't be so cool for your eyes or your ability to understand anything that I'm doing in the game. So, hence why we're here. But, anyways, I'm trying to decide what kind of style I want to go for. Because I really like, there's 3 styles of windows. And it's actually kind of funny, because I find myself preferring the old style that was in the game beforehand. Like the simple little like function, they call them like functional windows, as opposed to the like really nicely designed, you know, like elegant ones. I don't know. I think it's a. I don't know. I like the simplicity of it. I think the other ones are just like too complicated. Maybe that's what it is. But anyways, we're gonna need to. It's looking like we're gonna have to do 2 things pretty damn soon. And the first is going to be get more brick, and conveniently, it's also going to be time to get a brick bolster, because we have our first half brick on the end of this row here. So yeah, we're actually, you know, we're getting through this pretty quickly, but nonetheless, I want to make sure we do the right job, not just a quick job. Something that contractors I've worked with in real life should take a note from. You know what? I could tell some stories about that. I had a contractor doing a bathroom once, and he was doing a herringbone style tiled floor, and that's when the tiles like make little L shapes around each other. Looks really nice. But I remember I went in when he was doing the work after he left for the day, and I noticed that I felt like the floor wasn't level, and I was like, this just doesn't seem right. And I had a brief moment of intelligence, and I turned the flashlight on my phone, and I put my phone on the floor, and I watched. And you know, if you have a flat floor, you can actually do this. You shouldn't see any shadows, because the light should go straight over to the wall. But if you have a really warped, really uneven floor, then you're going to see all these shadows and mountains and valleys that you just shouldn't see. And I remember I went in, and it was just the entire floor. You could just see these like divots and raised bits. I mean, God forbid, like if you dropped a marble on that thing, it would go all over. So I confronted the guy. I was like, look, I'm not asking for something like perfect, but I also didn't want. I know what's going on. I also definitely didn't want a floor that's so unlevel that like when I'm walking in it, even with shoes on, I can physically feel the unevenness of it. But I mean, not actually, to not give him credit, because he didn't do the right thing. He left the job as it was. He said he wasn't going to redo it again, because he had already done that once, and he had noticed it was unlevel. He had fixed it, or not really fixed it, but that. So we had to hire another contractor to come in, rip up all the flooring that he had done, and redo it. But you know, that's why contractors aren't all perfect. That's why there's only a few good ones out there. But anyways, speaking of that, thinking of a game feature related to that, I would be really interested to actually see some of the interior work, get the detail level that the exterior work has. You know, I don't know if you've thought about it, but like, we have the ability to put down a tile bathroom floor from a roll, which obviously that isn't real tile, and that's fine. But I do feel like we should have the option to have real tile. And I'm not saying that we should have to grout each little tile and stick it in place. I think that would drive people mad. But maybe just having some kind of mechanic where you need to maybe just grout, like, you know, I think they have this in real life, I've noticed. Like, there's sheets of connected tile, but, you know, they're certainly not a sheet that's the size of a whole bathroom. And So maybe you'd have to like connect those sheets or something, or like put them down and grab them and then connect them. I don't know. I'm spitballing, but it could be interesting. Looks like we're gonna have to finish up the last of this brickwork tomorrow. Well, actually, we still have to do the interior breeze block walls, which actually reminds me of something I've been wondering with the game, which is that if you notice, the breeze block interior walls are the same. They're the same thickness as the wooden ones. But, you know, practically speaking, I don't know why you would ever use the breeze blocks. I mean, in real life, yeah, they're more structurally stable, and, I mean, I guess they're more insulating, probably. That is the other thing. There's no house with no insulation, but I suppose that you'd have it be, that the brick would be more insulating. But there's really no incentive in-game why I wouldn't smash that down with a sledgehammer and put wooden frames in place. I won't, just for the sake of having some different construction styles to show off. But if I was doing this not for the purpose of showing mechanics, yeah, I would absolutely break that down and use a wooden frame. And the wooden frames now, actually, I will say they're pretty damn easy to work with, because it only takes a nail or two to get them up or put them down, and so you can kind of test out a bunch of layouts, see what looks good. It's good. I like it. You know, overall, like I was so excited when I first got access to the to this version. I was over the moon. I was so happy because I was like, I've been waiting to try this, and now I finally get to sink my teeth into it and see what it's like, and here we are. And it's honestly, it's exactly what I expected. You know, a lot of the time with games, like I see that they're having a big update, and I get really excited, and then it actually comes out, and I'm like, oh, this is awful. Like they'll call it a free build update, and the difference will be that like we get to arrange the interior walls. But that's not what's happened here. This has really been everything it's been advertised to be. You know, it is allowing the freedom that it said it was going to. I think we should, yeah, I'm going to go to sleep in the game, because I want to be able to see what I'm doing. We can finish up that brickwork in the morning. Alright. Get the normal stuff. I will take a shower, because I do not smell good in the game. Alright. That's brickwork done. Well, no, actually, what am I saying? Almost done. Brickwork. Almost done. Just one more layer to do. And see, it's kind of finicky. There's never a perfect way to do this. But you get it done. Now, I want to just take a second and look at the house, and I want your suggestions, please, as to what to do with the roof and everything, because I haven't really decided on what I'd like for that, and if you guys have any suggestions, I am more than open to it. So let's try finishing off. Oh, it's actually kind of funny. You can put the bricks all uneven. Maybe I'll do a video like an OCD. Like person's nightmare, and just do the whole house. Like I'll fill the no finds just almost to the top, and I'll just barely crack the foundations. And of course, you know, not gonna flatten any of the grout. That'd be too good, too precise. So yeah, let's get all these bricks up. Do this. A lot of people want the option to do whole brick walls, like walls where the whole wall is just brick. And I like that aesthetically, but I also know that just doing this little bottom strip around the whole house gets a little tiring. Not tiring, but you get a little tired of doing it. So I cannot say that I would be eager to do all of that in brick. I wouldn't be. But maybe in like certain, like, a little corner or two of the house. It's good actually to see, if you notice, the notebook tasks are updating. Even though like it is a new update and it's experimental, it's good to see that things are still, oh shoot. See, things are a little buggy still. We're gonna leave that, we're gonna hope it fixes itself. See, nothing perfect yet. But anyhow, that's gonna bother me. When it hardens, I'll smash it with a sledge. But let's get some of the interior brickwork. Actually, we're gonna need a work platform for that. I should get some money. Let's go for this. Those are all the new doors and windows. Here we are. What that banging sound was. Didn't like it though. Alright, let's go with. Yep. Get these down. Try and. I'm glad that's now fixed because it just leaves. It's a nicer patch to fix. Just because it's more accessible and it less cutting them in half. Anyways, here's our work platform, which I always forget to buy, and I always need when I do the brickwork. Because you have no hope of reaching the top without one. So we'll put that down in here. We're not there yet though. We're still just getting these lower ones filled in. And we should actually have some leftover breeze blocks, but I'm not really going to use them. Again, I want to. You know how these work if you've seen the game before. These have been in, but wooden frames have been in the game, but we haven't been able to interact with them yet. This is the first version where we actually have the ability to do anything with them. Previously, they were kind of just there. You couldn't change them or anything, but now you can. Alright, so we're going to grab 4 breeze blocks. Get this house is actually, I mean, to give myself some credit, it's coming along pretty quick. Only thing that definitely is helping, I will say, is if you've noticed, I have unlimited energy. So when I'm going to the front of the house or something to grab a brick, I can just sprint. Which, of course, once this is the normal version of the game again, cannot do that because obviously not. If you're going to waste all of your energy, which why would you do that? But yeah, so here we are. It's getting pretty satisfying. You can start seeing all those when we look at the build checklist at the end of this. We're going to see a lot of those tasks starting to just disappear. Still a decent bit to go. You got to remember this whole part of the house is completely unroofed, and I think I'm gonna get windows and doors in before I worry about roofing, and I want to get the wooden walls situated. We should have. Yeah, it doesn't actually have that as completed, but let's not worry about that for now. Yeah, I guess I will dispose of the excess brick. People are going to be crying about this, understandably so. It's a shame to watch somebody throw all this crap out, but this is not an actual playthrough. In an actual playthrough, I'd obviously hold on to it. That way, when we get a tenant in and we have to start repairing things, that I have spares that I've already paid for, obviously. But in this case, it doesn't make much sense to hold on to those because we have unlimited money, and the amount of time I'm going to waste trying to move all of these to a storage spot is just not going to make sense. So we want this to be clean. I did keep around some of the bags there, and I don't really need them either, but they're on the road, so they will be easier to clean up. Yeah, so let's get all these up, and then we'll get pallets. You used to be able, and I tried in this update, couldn't get it to work. Tried to smash the pallets just with a sledge, and I know that you wouldn't really want to do that because you can get money for them, but still, like I don't know. When I was doing my big foundations for the other house, it was like literally like 10 pallets a day that I needed to break or wanted to break because it'd be easier, but I couldn't. Alright, so now I think it's a good time to look at what we're going to do about the interior. I like this size. I don't know why these are all the small ones. So what you'll notice is if I rip these up, you can actually make them any size you want. So having two of these that are just laying around is kind of useful actually, because I can definitely size this up to almost fill the gap. Yeah, no, not fully. I can get one that's like that, and then I can get one of these that's a really tiny one and put in there. And I actually should move this one first because I want to hammer this one down. But yeah, you can see that we just actually basically got a free. I mean, it's not free. It was already in the house, but we were able to save a frame there, and it's just unnecessary. It actually cost us more plasterboard too. That actually looks about as efficient as it can be, but all of these, I don't want to split these rooms up. I want to split them a little differently, so that's what we're going to do. I don't want the wall here. I want to move it over. Because I want this room to be the size of this room. I think that's a decent sized room to furnish, and I don't want to make it any smaller than that. So, yeah. And then we can start actually walling off this room over here. Should be alright. We can start taking some of these walls that we don't need there anymore. Yeah, so a 1.2 is too big. A 0.8 and then one of the teensy ones will work. Yeah, and this is kind of the experimentation of it all. It's just figuring out what you can fit and getting it all to fit, and then doing that within kind of your creative vision for the house. It can be a challenge, but I think it's a fun one. It's kind of the whole point of the game is, at this point at least with this update, is building something in your image as you want it. So what we're going to work on is again right now we're taking these down, these wall frames, so we hopefully can start rearranging things. We definitely will be able to do it. See, I knew there was a hidden little nail there. Alright, so we want to put the door frame exactly where the other one is. So let's line it up. I want to have it here. Oh, actually, interesting. That's not how that works. We just need the overhead. So we won't put that in yet. We're gonna move these around. Because what we should need is one of the teensy ones. Put it here. And then we can hammer that down. And then we need 8.8. I will say performance in this update has definitely taken a hit from all the new mechanics and everything. but the dev has said that more optimization will be done, and that hopefully sooner rather than later the game should begin performing a bit better. Ooh, let's get that out of there. We can put it there. We want to, again, just make sure it's all lined up. That will become a door frame. And then we'll use one of these just to go across, make sure it's all lined up. And it should be. Looks like it is, which is good. Now we're just going to wall off the rest of this room. And then we'll hammer it all in together. And down. Here we are. Yeah. So I think for this episode, we're going to try and get these interior walls in, and then I'll try and assess the situation up on the roof, and I'll figure out what we want to do from there. So I'm thinking that this room is bigger, so this should be a bedroom probably. This can be maybe a study or something. But I know I want this to be kitchen dining. And I'm thinking we actually should leave it a little bit open plan like it is now. I think we should leave it. And we can do it. So we have 3 excess wood frames. I am gonna, you may have noticed that the bathroom I'm keeping the same. This is obviously gonna be my bathroom. I'm not gonna mess with that. I'm gonna leave that as is because I think the layout actually works well. I don't want to alter it too badly. So for this episode, let's go and take a look at the roof next. We should order a ladder to do that, and then we'll see what we can do about that. So now that we've finished all the masonry and we've worked around with the interior, let's take a look at what's up there. All right, so Winston should, yep, here we are, have that ladder. Let's forgot to have my volume up. Let's get that set up. Got to be careful so you don't break the house. You can see the game is starting to lag a little, especially when I go over there. I think it's because I have all these bricks and everything in the trash. So hopefully when that gets cleaned up tonight, it should be better. But all right, so let's look at what we've got. So first off, this might look like a roof, but it's not. And so we have that. And then we have this mess. So it is the worst kind of weather to do any kind of roofing work because it's raining. And if you've noticed, in the rain, you slip and fall and die. So what I was thinking originally was that we would just extend the original roof. But I really think that because of its shoddy enough design, and the fact that the back doesn't even have tar on it or anything, that we really need to scrap the whole thing. So now I'm going to show you one of the more satisfying parts of the update. And I know you're going to get worried because I have a sledgehammer, and you should. So, yeah, I'm going to smash the crap out of the boards here, which gets rid of all the old boards and the old shingles. Now, if I was really trying to be economical, I could, I could save these for when I redo it. But, as to not bore you to death, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do this. Yeah, so enjoy the kind of laggy, but nonetheless satisfying, and also knock this off. So the only unfortunate part is you actually can't break down these frames with a sledge. You're going to have to use a hammer, which is going to take time, but we'll get that done. My goal for today's episode is just to kind of break these down and maybe, if we have time, try and do a little bit of layout for the new one. But definitely not going to be able to do all the boarding and filing. That I'm going to do partially on camera, probably, and then partially off camera, because that's going to take forever. So yeah, we have, looks like this section, yep. I always find it fun when you're getting rid of the old stuff like this, because you know you can replace it with new. So yeah. Let's finish the job here. It's gonna get a little finicky. I'm running uphill on a. Alright. Okay, so. Just gotta. Oh. We're actually gonna use the flying function. Whack that moldy old wood out. And then we should be able to. Well, we'll wait till the morning. We'll break those top tiles and start moving the frames around. But we've made some progress so far. That's what's important. Still is raining. A little less laggy, actually, I think. Now that that's all gone. Now, yeah, so this is the mess that I'm going to show off the flying function. So now you can see I'm flying. And I can click. I can't see the sledge, which is kind of weird to get used to. And actually, if I step on the roof frame, I start to slide down. But as long as I kind of float like a weird superhero or something, it doesn't do anything. So now that we're up here, I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to break these tiles. We're gonna set up a new roof. It's going to be about twice as big as the old one, and we're going to still keep that back area flat there. So we're not actually going to extend the roof. And I actually don't need to get rid of all of it. I just want to get rid of about half of it. So yeah, if I show you what I mean by that. So this slope here, this is fine because we're still going to end the roof there on that side. However, this half isn't going to work like that because, well, we're going to have the edge of the roof way over. So that's when we start to, and I am going to use the flying function to help. Ooh, okay, and shoot. See, that's what happens if you're not careful. I gotta try and experiment to see how far you can go, you know, to get the, you just want to make sure you get the maximum frame length, just for the sake of not wasting material. So there you go. So that's where we're going to put, and we're going to line them up, obviously, with what's there. But for now, that's kind of what we're going to be doing. We're going to move the framing. And we really don't need these little ones either, because we don't know how those are going to fit in. We don't know how things are going to fit in yet. So for now, I'm going to try and create these new edge bits, just so we have something to guide the rest of the framing by. And that's kind of what we're doing. So we're creating a guide for ourselves. That way we know where to put everything else later. So, you know, if I get all these down, then I can deconstruct and build them up. That will not happen fully in this episode, of course, because that takes a long time. doesn't happen instantly. Far from it, actually. But my goal today is let's get these down on this edge, and then I want to deconstruct the pieces that are there so we can really start making some progress. Yeah, so roofing is it's a mixed bag, I think. I mean, it is kind of fun and kind of unique when you start, but at least for me, like, when you get to doing this for like the 800th time, it does not, it's not as novel, it's not as new, it's not as fun. That's why this roof probably would be about the biggest that I can do without getting too burnt out, because it's not too large, and especially I'm not doing this in one episode because I can't. It's too much work for that. So yeah, we've almost got we got one more to put down, and then we'll have the that side. These done, and then we can start uninstalling what we don't need. Alright, so these are down. So now we're going to end by just trying to... We're just going to put these... We're just going to drop these down. And we'll start... In the next episode, we'll start trying to frame everything out. I don't think I'll do any work between episodes. The only thing I might do is just place an order for the roof frames, just because it can be a pain to unload those. Strategy I usually use is I don't even unload them, actually. I just untie them all from the truck and let Winston drive away, and then get them from the road. But, maybe I'll do some work. Actually, I don't even know how many we're gonna need yet. I could frame the roof between episodes, but I think for you guys, you probably, what you're here to see is the new stuff. And I showed you all of bricklaying, and bricklaying's not a new thing, so why would I not show you all of roof construction when that is a new feature? So, yeah. I suppose, I'll show you the whole process, but that will have to be... We'll probably end up spending a whole episode on roofing, because roofing takes a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if because these episodes, these showcase episodes, about an hour. I wouldn't be surprised if it takes an hour, maybe a little more actually, to do this, because you got to remember, it's not just the framing. The framing might take like 10-15 minutes, but then you have to put all those boards on, and then you gotta shingle all of it, and that will take some time. So I'm gonna try and put these showcase episodes out pretty regularly. I don't want you guys to have to wait like a month to see the house finished. And if I do an episode every week, then that's probably what you'll be looking at. So instead, I'll try and do one every couple of days. It's going to be hard because, right now I'm not at school. Got break for a few days for Thanksgiving, but I'm not going to have that, obviously, all the time. And I have, a lot of full weeks before the holidays, so I think the goal is, let's put one of these out. Let's put like 2 episodes out a week. Probably take an episode or 2 to get the roof done, and then we will start working on these windows and doors, and then we're going to have to plasterboard the whole place, and then we can get some interior design, some furniture. All in all, there's probably like 4 or 5 episodes left of the series that I got to make, and that you guys get to enjoy. And I'd like to have those out for you in like 2 or 3 weeks total. So that's my goal. But for today, we've got this done on the roof, and that's where we're gonna leave it for next time. So great having you guys along for the journey, and I'll see you next time.